On this video, I'm going to show you how you can save your first 300,000 Kenyan shillings. And by the way, this is equivalent to like sort of 230,000 or 2,300 or something of sort, right? By the way, this formula is not limited to this amount of money. You can use the similar formula to actually save more money. Maybe your target is $1 million, Bob, 2 million, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever the amount of money. So stick around, all right? So let's get into the business. But hey, don't forget this. I'm sharing this information with you for free. I ain't gonna charge you even a dime. The only thing I want from you as a favor or return is to, like this video and also make sure that you subscribe to this channel and comment down below. Let's get into the business. Now, you want to save your first 300,000 Kenyan shillings because you're looking forward into, say, starting a business or something of sort, or maybe you just want to see some money in your bank. So what do? First, the very first thing that you have to understand when it comes to you saving your money is to understand your numbers. I wish there is another formula. There's no another formula. You have to understand your numbers. Understand your numbers. When I say understand your numbers, is to basically know exactly, okay, what do I operate on? What do I mean? I always tell people, and I'm going to repeat this point. Numbers, as far as the money is concerned, is divided into two categories. A, we usually have what we call the income. This is what you make, be it either actively or passively. This is what comes in your house or in your pocket or whatever the place, okay? On the other end, we usually have things, we call them the expenses, okay? The expenses, you can call them liabilities or whatever they are, but they are expenses. Whether they are abilities, assets, or whatever, those are expenses, okay? Now, when you understand these two assets or these two aspects of money, by the way, I'm explaining understanding your numbers. So the income and the expenses. Now here I'll say you make your stock of 50K per month, and here your expenses maybe is 35K per month. So the difference between the two is what? Is 15K. Now, you have understood your numbers. You survive on 35K and usually make 50K. The difference between the two is 15K. And remember one thing, forever and ever and ever, never forget this point. The 15K that is being left behind is the money that channels or directs you towards an investment. That money that actually grows you, that you can be able to develop the next part of your life. Now, the point is understand your numbers, because you cannot focus on saving this amount of money if you do not understand your numbers. Fine. After understanding the numbers, what do we do? Yeah. Now, the next thing that you do after understanding your numbers is to do what? Is to count the cost of 300K. What does it mean? Count the cost of 300K. What does it mean? Count the cost of 300K. Okay, fine. What really does it mean? Remember one thing, I'm going to use that case scenario of 15K. That's what you save each and every month. So what is the cost of 300,000? What does it mean? It means, now, the cost of this 100,000, it means that I have to make sure that I set aside each and every X amount of money at the end of the month. Again, the reason as to why you know how much you need to set at what period, you are guided by when do you want this money, okay? When you want this money gives you a clear indication of to how much you want to make or how much you ought to save at the end of that specific time. Okay, fine, confirm, or let's say, for example, say you would like to save this amount of money, let's say in 1.5 years, okay? 1.5 years, that's the time you want this money. Therefore, and you remember one thing, you have your 15K each and every month as the savable amount. So if you were to channel this amount of money, it multiplied by 12, so how much does it give you? It does give you less than 200K, okay? Then it means in a 12 months time or in 1 year, saving 15K definitely would get you into 300K, all right? Or maybe if you were to say, hey, guess hey, I'm gonna add another 6 months, then therefore it means you're gonna get the 300K that you're looking for. Or maybe let's say you are saving 10K each and every month in a period of 12 months, of which is 1 year, you're gonna have yourself 120K. So with that regard, still you're short of 300,000. So that is what we call the cost of doing what? The cost of 300K. For example, let's say today we would like to have a trip all the way from Nairobi to Mombasa. We have to calculate how much we need in terms of the fueling, how much we need in terms of the oil change, how much we need in all those kind of things, okay? So after we've actually identified that, then we can be able to go ahead and embark on that journey. But without us understanding the cost of that 300K, we're gonna get ourselves into lots of challenges and lots of problems, and probably we're never gonna achieve anything out there. So calculate the cost of 300K. So once you've done that, then it gives you a clear indication. Then the other thing that you need to understand, or the C, is at how long or what period, okay? The period, or we call it the period. So the period, for example, it's that time that you need that money. From today, for example, we are about to go to the new year. Depends on when you watch this video. I'm making this video at the tail end of December, okay? Slightly a day after the Christmas. Now, say you would like to get into 2024 and you're looking forward into having the 300K. This is what you can be able to do. Now, the period of that specific time. Let's say now you have 12 months to get the 300K. Now, if you have the 12 months, here you have yourself the 12 months to have the 300K. Now, and you manage to save 15K each and every month, or maybe let's say you manage to save 20K each and every month. Okay, I know this may sound like, hey, Joseph, we're barely saving 5,000 at the end of the month you're talking about. So see, the long it will take you depends with the amount of money that you are able to save each and every month. Remember one thing, the point is saving 300,000 Kenyan shillings in a very fast way, okay? My fast may differ from your fast, but the reality is this. Let's say, let's say you can save for the first 3 months, and this is what I always advise people. Save your money the very first 3 months. The first month, let's say you save your 15K, and the next 15K. Now, here with you are 45K. Now, what do you do with this 45K? I always tell people, hey, guess what? It's not a must that you have to toe the line. It's not a must that you have to follow that procedure of, hey, keep on saving and store that money, accumulate it somewhere until you reach this amount of money by virtue of just savings. No, this is 2023. There are various ways on how you can be able to invest this money and be able to be making something as you move to the next level. For example, you've saved for the first 3 months. These are the savings of the first 3 months. Now, you've already saved. Now, you ask yourself, okay, right now as we speak, I already have 45,000 in my bank account, in my savings account. Okay, now you ask yourself, what exactly can I do with this amount of money? Because I always tell you one thing, money is always a tool. It's a tool to make more of it. It's a tool to make more of it, but not a product to be consumed. And this is where people get it wrong. Whenever you have some money in a bank, ask yourself, okay, fine, that's like an extra hand. What can I do with that 45K that I have in my bank that can be making a little bit, no matter how small it is, provided it's making something, it is not lying idle out there. Now here, what you get into depends with your risk appetite. Okay, and I have two classifications of people here. We have person A and we have the person B. Both of them are saving the same amount of money, and both of them are the third month they have 45,000. Now, A is a bit of a risky individual. This is an individual who says, guess what? Whatever comes on my way, I grab it, provided it makes me money, I move to the next level. And they always have this kind of a thing by the back of your head. If things go south, this doesn't go the way I expect them, this is what I'm gonna do. It's like having an exit plan, just in case things goes, you know, as you never expected. Now, person A decides, hey, guess what? For example, I'm going to give my case scenario. For example, I'm this kind of an individual who will look at the things that are going. For example, I might realize, hey, maybe sugar is likely to increase in price. And don't ask me how I know. I actually have some friends, you know, who are doing this wholesaling thing and all those kind of things. They're selling other products in large amount. So I kind of ask them, because I'm this kind of an individual who will be all over the place. You guys say the cost of things are actually rising, and I have some few coins out there. I'll go grab that item, resell it at a better price, and then I make a profit. I move to the next level. That is exactly how I do it. All right. So in this case scenario, if I'm this kind of an individual, then I will think, hey, I have 45,000. It's okay. What's opportunities trending out there? Maybe I can go out there, buy some goats, you know. And because I do not have a storage place, I can buy some goats, you know, keep them in a slaughterhouse, and then those guys who are actually coming there can be able to sell it at a profit. Even if I'm making 500 or 200 or 300 from that goat, it's way much better than having that money lying in the bank. And that's why I said we can achieve this amount of money at different times. Depends on our risk appetite. Okay, now that's person A. Okay, and person B is this kind of an individual who is like, hey, guess what? When it comes to risking and all those kind of things, I'm not kind of an individual. What I can be able to do is to hold on to my money. Maybe if I was to invest it, maybe put it in something like money market fund where I'm getting profits or interest rates, should I call it. But I know it's not humongous, but at least I'm sure that my money is safe out there. So it depends which kind of an individual whom you fall in between these two kind of people. But if you ask me, I would say, hey, I won't really like risk all the entire amount of money. I would be like, hey, I can take my 10K out of the 45K, I leave it in money market fund, I take my 30K, I put it in the market, I see what it can actually do for me. But don't just get into anything because it's gonna make you money. Don't go into these things like scams and they're telling you send this money, we'll multiply it. There's nothing like that. For me, look for the real thing, something that you know you don't have to keep it, you don't have to store it, you don't have to hold it, it's a thing that you can buy here and sell here, you move to the next level. I know it is very risky, very dicey, and I agree with you, but hey, We are different. That's how I perceive things. So if that's what you can go for, then go grab it, make some cash, and move to the next level. Guess what will happen? Now, assuming that we don't even invest our money throughout the times. So by the time we are saving the 10th month, we have 150,000. The next time we have our 30,000, that's like 180,000 at the end of the year. But if you were to actually use that what you've already accumulated and channel it to something else that will be making new money. For example, say at 45,000, you took this amount of money, you did invest it somewhere, or you did buy something, or you did engage in any kind of a business out there that made you like even 4,000. So if it made you 4,000, now we are talking about close to 50 Gs. So by the time now you're going for the next set of 3 months, by 6 months, you already now have some accumulated amount of money as you progress to the next level. Because you never know, opportunities can actually show up at different times. The reason why I'm saying this, for example, say this video is being watched by somebody who is managing to save 5K per month. Let's say you're saving only 5,000 per month. If you're saving this amount of money and your target is 300,000, you can tell me how long it will take you. It will take you like a couple of times. It will take you like several months before you do that. We can calculate it. 300,000 divided by 5,000, okay? And that amount of money actually gonna take you, you know, like 60 months. 60 months, if you are to divide it by 12, bro, telling you it will gonna take you a lot of months. Let's like 5 years, okay? So 5 years for you to save this amount of money cannot be a problem. Anyway, maybe you're saying, hey, guess what? Maybe by 2029 I'll be having my 300K. But if you can have a formula on how you can be able to achieve the money before the 2027, so be it. That is exactly what I always advise people. If you can have, you see, don't I really hope this message gets into you. Don't really view money or really sort of play super safe with it. View it as an extra hand. View it as a tool that can actually manage to build you more money as you progress to the next level. That's how we are supposed to view it. For example, let's say you're saving this 5,000 per month, and then at the end of the year you have your 60,000. The second year you have 120,000. So you're like having a tool that is lying idle somewhere in a bank or savings or whatever that money is just lying idle there, and you're really struggling to make some things here, which you might need that tool to make you something. So I usually feel bad when I see people really struggling out there. They're telling you, hey, I'm struggling to make, you know, I really want like 200K. I want to start a business. And then you ask them like, how much do you have? I have a short of 80,000 right now. I'm 120,000. I don't know what I can be able to do. But you already have 120,000. You can be doing something with that 120,000. It doesn't have to be a complicated things. You can be trying waters with that amount of money. So by the time the 80,000 shows up, you've already tested 1, 2, 3. So you already gathered some experience. So therefore, investing would be like a strange thing as you move to the next level. So, but if you just want to stick to just saving, accumulating, and storing that money the entire stretch of say 5 years in case of 5,000, so be it. If you want to play it safe. But if you have some sort of a character of, you know, little bit of riskiness deep inside of you, then you can be able to invest. But never forget this. I always tell people, if you wish to go and invest, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you ought to have two characteristics or characters. Number one, you have to be a risk taker. Number two, you have to be crazy. Crazy in the sense that, hey, you have to be this kind of an individual who sees things differently, far from others, how they view them. That marks the end of my video. It's a simple start. And by the way, don't forget one thing, my savings template of 2024, which can help you to save up to 67,800. It is ready. You can grab it. It's only for 200. Actually has a well stipulated method and formula on how you can be able to go buy, save that amount of money. And by the way, if you're watching this video from my group of 2023, congratulations for those who did manage to achieve that amount of money. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.